Okay, so, hi Alan, I'm Laurence.
Hi Laurence.
Nice to meet you.
Pleased to meet you.
No. You know why you're here?
Yes, I've got an idea.
So basically, I've got wax here, and I'm going to be modelling your head, while you hopefully tell us a bit about yourself,
yeah.
Where you come from, a bit about mining, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And all I was going to say is, if I move around you, don't follow me around.
No, just...
I've got to get side profiles at
yeah.
the back of your head and all that sort of stuff, so I'll be probably moving the chair around you and etc. And every now and again I'll get concentrating and stuff, but on the whole we'll be just having a chat really.
Yeah.
So, are you a miner, or were you a miner?
When I left school I was a miner.
Yeah.
And I came out of the Bentley pit it was. I came out of the pit, looked up at the sky and a blazing sun, and I just turned around and I said, that's me. I'm not going down there again, I'm going to the army.
How long was this?
This was 1963.
1963, so how long had you been working in a mine at that point?
From leaving school at about 4 or 5 years.
Oh right.
Yeah. I started off on haulage, and then I went pony driving.
Oh really?
Yeah. Pony driving. One day, I'll tell you a tale about pony driving.
Yeah, please do.
There was this, well you can imagine, I was just a young lad of 15 and a half, 16. You couldn't go down pit till you were 16.
Okay.
I'd be 16. And one day I was with this horse, I always remember it, Ruby they called it. It was a big horse for a pit pony. And going through air doors, what you call air doors, it was very frightened and it used to bolt and run. And it run away this day and run into a Warwick post.
A Warwick post?
A Warwick post, what they call a Warwick post, it's a girder, what you lift up and down to stop tubs come running. It took its eye out.
Good God.
Yeah. And,
really?
Yeah. And in them days, it was full, there were no conveyor belts, it was full tubs one way and empty tubs the other way going in and out to the districts. Anyway, whoever were driving this engine in the pit bottom, I got on the phone and said, listen, I've got this horse, it's injured, its eye's out, I was covered in blood, everything, and I'm walking back and the tub started up again and the horse was rearing up.
Good God.
And going at it. So I got back on, next phone I come to, I got on it, told it I started swearing a bit. Oh, on the motor, when I get down there I'm going to do it, you know, this and that. I got to pit bottom, there were undermanager, Mr. John McCluskey, a vet, and my dad. And my dad just come up to me, belted me, he says, get out the pit. He says, I'm that bloke you're swearing at. And I got kicked out. So I must have been the only bloke down the pit get a good ironing off his dad.
So your dad got it all going again? All the tubs moving and stuff?
Oh yeah, he was driving the engine at the time, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I didn't know it was him, and I was on phone like, oh well, when I think back to it, I must have been frightened at the time, you know,
God,
young lad, and that's it.
So what happened with the horse?
They just, you know, stitched its eye up and that, and it carried on again.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I suppose it needed much eyesight, don't it?
Yeah. And
Good
and then after pony driving, I went with the surveyors.
Right.
And when I was with the surveyors, my job was to go on coal face and measure packs, what they call packs. Like stone walls, when the weight come on. And 2 or 3 days went by, and I thought, well, why am I going on coal face when they're coming off? I was talking to men who had been putting packs on. And I had to measure the packs up and then go out to the pit and draw them in office, you know, from maps. And apparently they get paid by the yard. And when one day I didn't go on face, I just said, what you put on? They might put 2 yard on, and they were saying, oh, 4 yard, 5 yard. So I got sacked off that job. And I went back on haulage, and then I went in the army, I joined Coldstream Guards. I went Coldstream Guards, went to a few countries with Coldstream Guards, did 6 trooping at colours.
Really?
Yeah, we used to do Buck Palace, Castle, Windsor, St James's. Was
it Coldstream Guards a difficult thing to get into? Was it like an elite thing or a...
They threw me in, I think.
Really?
Yeah, and while I was in the army, I did a lot of boxing.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it all started, I did my training in Pembrey, and there was this PTI when I went in, and what he were going to do. And all
What's
this
a PTI?
PTI is physical training instructor.
Fitness instructor.
Yeah. and he was going to do all sorts to everybody. And apparently they put me in the ring with him and I beat him. So
Really?
from that day on, I was in boxing team.
God, and what happened to the PTI? Did he ever...
No, we're just friends, it's sport,
Was
wasn't
there
it?
mutual respect?
Yeah, we just got on all right. And I could have gone on a PTI course, but I chose not to. I went to Aden at Yemen.
God.
And then I was in Saudi Arabia, Yemen, in Aden. And I come off a roadblock. We used to do roadblocks and guards and everything over there. And then you used to go up country. We used to get attacked every night, but...
Really? Were you being attacked?
Well, the Arabs, they used to be firing rifles at you, doing everything. And then they got a message that my dad had a heart attack. So we came back to camp. We were in canvas, big tents. Marquees, we were skipping in them, and they said, come on, there's a flight, you're going home. I said, well, I've no money. And all lads, chipped in and everything, and I ended up with 10 shilling. I always remember it.
Really?
Yeah, it was just 10 shilling, 50 pence. And I had to get civvies, because you couldn't fly over countries in uniform and that.
God.
So they put me in civvies, and I got on in this VC-10, landed at Heathrow. When I was on Heathrow, everybody sat on plane, and MPs come on plane, took me off, put me in a Land Rover, took me to King's Cross. I says, have we got any money? I have no money. And they says, we haven't got any money for you. So they give me a warrant on train, went to Doncaster. So I came all the way from Saudi Arabia to Doncaster with 10 shilling in my pocket.
Good God.
And I was frightened to spend it.
God.
I was gagging for a drink.
Yeah. Bloody hell. And your dad was ill?
Yeah, he had a heart attack. My dad had a heart attack. And while I was at home, I did another silly thing. Well, I say silly thing, but I don't think it is. My wife, well, she wasn't my wife then, but I got married, special licence, without their permission. So
Without military permission?
Yeah, without the military position, because I was under 21. And anyway, I went back after I got married, explained I got married, and I had to go and see CO's orders and everything. They just says, why did you marry her? I said, because I loved her. Just straight out. It says, case explained, and that was it.
That's strange.
Yeah. Oh, you have to get the permission. Oh, you did then, I don't know about now.
God.
Well,
Bloody hell. So back to the mines for a while.
yeah.
So you were down in the mines, what are the dates?
Oh, 59 till 63. And then I came out of army, and I'd been offered a job at ICI. So I took the job at ICI, and then I was there a couple of years, and it came up, redundancies came up, and as I was going home, I called up Pitt at Armthorpe, Markham Main, and Barry Whaling, he was a personnel chap there then, and I was talking to him. I said, what's the chances of starting at Pitt? He says, Monday. I says, honestly? He says, yes. So I went back to ICI, put my notice in, and started at Pitt, but I had to do my training again.
Right.
So I did all my training. And that was it.
And when was that?
That was, what would that be? 70s. So about 74, 5, something like that.
And did you stay like that till you were retired then, after that?
Yeah. 92 we were finished, went pit show. Yeah.
Gosh. And so so let's go back to the beginning. So you were charged of the pit pony is always good to talk about.
Yeah.
So you had one charge of one pit pony?
Yeah, well, you did. You had a pit pony. I mean, when I had that Ruby, who had she took her eye out, they gave me another horse called Torch. And Torch, when you can imagine young lads coming out of the district about 2 miles to walk and say, something like that. And we used to ride them out. But if I had a friend with me, and I said, come on, jump on and all, it just walk into its side, it won't move. It knew there were 2 people on its back, yeah. Oh, they were very intelligent, actually, pit ponies, yeah. Yeah, they were intelligent. And they wouldn't have been a very nice life for them.
No.
No, but it was there. And I used, with pony driving, my job was taking materials in. And what you call, contractors who were doing headings. they wanted their cardock shells in first. Well, cardock shells are what they drilled holes into stone and that, and then explode, explode them.
Carbide.
Yeah, and they used to come up to me, make sure our shells are in first, make sure our shells. So I used to have my favourites, I used to take them, and then on payday, Fridays, I used to stand in the pit yard, and they used to come and give me £0.50 or something like that, to make sure I took them in. Or a bag of humbugs. Yeah, so I could write a book, couldn't I?
Yeah, you certainly could.
That's my trouble, I can't spell.
So how many pit ponies were down there? I mean, did you
at Bentley then, as I can remember, I'd say there must have been 15-ish, something like that, yeah.
And I suppose there were was it shift work then? Was it
Yeah.
So you would have, what, 2 or 3 on a shift?
Yeah, you had stables, and you used to go in and you had to take them out at stable and bring them back in, and begin at shift and end at shift and that.
So was that an enjoyable job, having a pit?
Oh, yeah, we had some right laughs. Yeah. I know people who've never worked down a pit must think you must be crazy, but it was great. It was.
Yeah.
It was. You had some right laughs.
Yeah.
You didn't put a foot wrong. You put a foot wrong and you knew it. The boys used to take the mickey out of you. Yeah, it was really good.
So you stayed with the ponies for how long?
Well, till I went in the army.
So you were with the ponies for a
Couple of years, yeah.
And then you saw the sun.
Yeah. Saw the sun, I thought, I'm having some of that.
Went to the Coldstream Guards.
Yeah.
And then ended up in Arabia.
Yeah, I've been in Arabia, Yemen.
Fought in Aden.
Yeah.
And what was the fight about? What was the battle about then? What was the
Well,
conflict?
it's more or less as it is now. It's been the same all the time now. They just don't like British, I think. I think that's one of the reasons. When we left Aden, we were nearly, I wasn't actually the last out, but there were the stuff what we took out to sea and just dumped, and I'm talking vehicles and things like that.
Really?
Yeah. And they left, they had some married quarters out there, what RAF were in, big flats, and they were just left everything as they were, and when British moved out, they all moved in. Yeah. So, and that's that.
What sort of action was it? Was it was it shooting? Was it?
Oh, when you were up country, when you went up to Radfan, they called it, Radfan Mountains, in Yemen, there were, night times you'd come under attack and things like that. You'd just see tracer bullets and that. They didn't know where they were firing. And we used to just fire mortars. But you never, in the morning when we had to go and inspect, you'd see bloodstains, but you never see any bodies or anything like that. And that's all. I were in mortar patrol at the time. And
You were on the mortars?
yeah, and we used to fire mortars out at night time and send flares up with mortar and everything, just see if we could see. But it's all it was. They were just one of them things. Life, you just got used to it. Yeah.
And then where else did you get to?
Well, all over Europe. One of the best places I went to, we were in, well, I'll tell you a tale about, we were in Liazac, that's south of France, Perpignan, round that way. And my wife were expecting Robert, my son. And I asked if I could come home. I said, there was some going home on a train and others going Land Rover. I said, no, you're on a Land Rover. So my son, he was a fortnight old before I knew it.
Gosh.
Yeah. And what's Rob now? 50 odd? 53, I think he is, yeah. Something like that. So, that's life.
Yeah. So you worked with your wife. Your wife didn't come with you on your military.
Only in England. She never came abroad with me, We ended up in Chelsea.
Oh, in the barracks.
Wimbledon. Harrow Road, 796B Harrow Road, we had a flat. And that were army hiring, the army hired it for you. And, yeah. And then we went to Tidworth. We had a place in Tidworth, but wife didn't like it in Tidworth. So she came home to her mother's. Yeah.
So it's quite tough then, being away from your...
Oh yeah, yeah. It's I think it's marvellous there what you're doing.
I think... You haven't seen it finished yet?
Oh,
Don't worry, you
it's
might
got to be
very-
better than what I've done on my shoulders.
You've got what I call a good head.
A good head.
You've got a good head. Plenty to get hold of.
Yeah.
I can't do subtle heads at this time,
Can't you?
this amount of time I have. So where do you live?
Armthorpe.
I'm sorry, okay.
Yeah, I was born in Bentley, but
So you're a Yorkshire man,
I'm a Yorkshireman through and through.
and was your father a miner? Obviously
Yeah,
he was,
my father was, my grandfather was,
Really?
yeah. My mother's side was, but well, I shouldn't have come into this.
Go on.
When I was 3-year-old, my mother left us.
Right.
My dad was working down pit, and his friend's mother died, so he said, come and live with us. And he came, and there was me, well, there was my eldest sister, Betty, she's died now. My youngest sister, Sandra, she's died, and Pauline, she's alive, she's in Scarborough. And myself, there were 4 of us. I was 3-year-old, I was next to oldest. And my mother did a runner,
Oh, right.
and that was it. My dad, they got divorced. I mean, in them days, years ago, 50s, beginning of 50s, it wasn't here, was it, divorce?
No.
But it was. And my mother lived in next street to us.
Right.
And
What, by herself?
no, with this chap, who my dad's so-called friend.
Okay.
And but she never spoke to us.
Really?
I can never ever remember my mother talking to me.
Really?
Yeah, it's true that. And I have a half sister, Mary. I heard from Doncaster.
No.
Oh, you'll not know them. That Robinson's dentist. Years ago, there used to be Robinson's dentist in every village,
Right.
and that he was my brother-in-law. He married our Mary, and my mum had before she met my dad or something. I don't know. Well, you know, I was that young. And I always remember coming home when my youngest sister died, Sandra. I came home and they lived on Thorne Road. They had a dental surgery on Thorne Road, and they asked me to go round and see him. I went round to see him, and Peter Robinson, he says, talking, so-called brother-in-law, he says, I'll do your teeth. I says, yeah, great. So we went up into surgery. He was looking at me and saying, yeah, I'll do this, do that. I said, yeah, you'll get on with it then. And he said, it'll only be £100. Well, £100 in 60s were like
Good God.
10 grand. I says, no, don't bother. I just walked out.
How bizarre.
Yeah. I mean, when I came out of army, I was a sergeant when I came out, and the pay I got was £53.
God.
That's what I came out with, 53 quid. Yeah.
So did your father meet another woman, or
No, he never did.
so he looked out? He brought you
He
up.
brought us up, yeah. I had more aunties than anybody in the village.
God.
I was say, who's that, Dad? He says, Auntie so-so.
Did he not want to find another woman, or did
Well, I don't know. It's my gran and my dad. They brought us up like neighbours. I used to come home. We used to come home from school, and they used to be, you know, go to Mrs. So and so down the street. She's got your tea. Go and do errands and just things like that.
he? Yeah.
And while I was at school, I used to do a milk round from Crawshaw, Mr. Crawshaw. And my job in the morning, I was only about 9, 10. I used to have to go and fetch horse out at the field and get ready and go do milk round before I went to school.
So horses is a bit of a theme at the moment.
Oh, it was, yeah. But I don't like race horses.
Oh, really?
No, I don't, I'm not a gambler. I used to do milk round, well, all weathers, for a few years that before I left school. And it got that bad. I used to walk into the classroom in the morning with my hand out to get cane, because I knew I was late. I had cane every day.
Good God.
Yeah. So, it got a bit of a joke.
God, God. So your dad worked down a mine.
Yep.
He what was his job? What was his main?
Well, he was an engine driver. He was a contractor, and then he had an accident. He nearly lost his leg, and he ended up as an engine driver. But when he was out at pit, he was union secretary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And well, you know, things like that. But as I've got older, I've realised how hard it must have been. When you're a kid, you know, well, you're not bothered, are you?
Wow.
No.
Oh,
And that's my short life.
that's amazing.
That's my 73 year.
Yeah, incredible. Incredible.
But I've had a good life, Lee. I'm
Yeah.
quite honest. I've been very, very lucky.
So, Art, when you went back the second time to the mine,
Yeah.
what was your main employment then?
Just, well, when I first went, I had to just do all my training again,
Yeah.
which was just basic training, really. And then I went out, they asked me to go and drive a stage loader. That's
A
on
stage
co-
loader?
what they call a stage loader. It's on at the coal face, and as the face extends, you push everything forward,
Yeah.
the conveyor belt and everything. And this is a stage loader, pushes everything forward. And I went on that for, 12 months or so. Then I just went contracting, doing odd jobs all over the pit and
Okay.
doing everything.
Is that what you call market man?
Yeah, like a market man, yeah. Yeah. And, well, I've had some really good jobs up pit. But I didn't tell you them.
Why not?
No. I'll tell you another one. Somebody reported me for doing it. I don't know who it is anyway, who they report you to. And me and my wife had been to Las Vegas. And I came back and I got this letter, somebody were coming to see me. And these two chaps came round and says, you've been doing odd jobs around the village for people. I said, yeah, that's right. You've been doing this, been doing that. I says, yeah. And they says, you're admitting to everything? I says, yeah. They says, well, why are you admitting to everything? I says, because I've done nothing wrong. They said, what do you mean you've done that? You're on what were it? Invalidity. But I said,
right.
I'm not. And I wasn't then. Well, I'm not now, like, but they said, well, why are you admitting to everything? I said, because I'm 65 and I'm an old age pensioner. They says, and someone had reported me, because I'd been to Vegas and all this and doing odd jobs and everything. And they put down that I was 60. So I thought, can you tell me who it was so I can thank them? They said, no, they won't tell you.
God. So there's a lot of kind of jealousy around.
Oh, there's a lot of jealousy, yeah. You get a lot of jealousy all the time, in every walk of life, don't you? I could push my nose in if that make it better like that.
Good God, you've got no bone in your nose. That's fantastic.
You can put my nose anywhere you want.
Is that from the fighting?
Yeah.
So how far did you get with the fighting?
Boxing, just army and different regiments and for army and it's just military, that's all it was,
Yeah.
just boxing, yeah.
So how many kids have you got?
2, boy and a girl.
Grandfather?
Great granddad.
Good God.
I'm a great granddad. I've two grandsons and one granddaughter. Granddaughter, she had a little lad. He's a month old now, just a month old, yeah. And the two grandsons, one's my daughter's, one's my son's, and there's 6 weeks
Wow.
difference in them. And they're like brothers, they're together all the time. But now Deck, he's courting, and Oliver, he's football crazy.
Yeah?
Oh, well, next week is the ball 21. He's a manager for Rico in the warehouse in Leeds. He's Oliver, and he's going to. I don't know where England's playing in London, Wembley, I think. He's going to watch that. Then they're going over to Germany next day to watch another football match, and then he's going to Montiago, is it?
Jesus.
To watch and they haven't got a ticket. I said, well, what are you going for if you haven't got a ticket? He said, I might be able to buy one there, Grandad.
Good God.
So, he is crazy. And Deck, he works for himself actually, Deck. He's a heating engineer.
Oh.
When you do this, can you give me a bit more air?
Yeah, don't you worry about that. We'll add all that. We can use the welder in the bronze as well, if you're not happy. I'm the problem. I've got the problem there. You're fine.
No. I'm on it back.
So did your wife work when you were away?
Yeah, my wife, she worked as a night care officer for council for 35 years. She did nights for 35 years.
God,
Yeah.
Jesus. How did you manage that when you were away?
Well, oh, she want 1 hour away. She want.
All right.
She came away with me. Tidworth, same as I said, Tidworth, what last place she came, and then she came home to her mum. And I'd had a council house for 18 months, and we never bothered with it, just paid rent.
Really?
And so we sorted that out while I went away. And my wife, actually, we've been married 50 odd years now, and I'd only been with her a fortnight before we got married.
Jesus.
And I came home from Germany, and I was walking into my dad's house, Sunday dinner time, and she was walking out.
Oh, your dad's house?
Yeah.
That's the first time you met her?
Yeah, she used to work with my sister, me and my sister. And that was the first time I met her. And then I took her out that night, and then I went back to Germany, and then I got shipped to Hayden, and I came back, and we got married, special license.
Really?
Yeah. So I only knew her a fortnight. I only actually with her a fortnight.
Good God.
Yeah. 53 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You must have been a charmer.
I must have been. I always remember I was on Tower Guard when I was in the army, and I was a corporal. And on Tower of London, you have what you call a spare guard room, where there's two corporals, they stand there just talking to public.
Ah.
And anyway, my wife Catherine, she got Robert in a pushchair, and she come to meet me this Sunday morning when I was on guard. And there were all these Chinese around and everything. And they come, you know, taking photos, you're in your bearskin and tunic and that. And Catherine moved out of the way, and they said, oh, no, we want a picture of you. They want to take photos of her, not me. So
you were in the bearskin hats and everything?
oh, yeah.
Good God.
Coasting guards.
Yeah, the proper, sorry, I didn't really clock
Yeah.
what that meant.
Yeah,
So it's the big hats
yeah.
at guarding outside Buckingham Palace.
Yeah, we have done Book Palace few times. In fact, 2014, I got invited to a garden party.
Really?
Me and Catherine went to a garden party. Oh, it was brilliant.
Yeah?
Yeah, at Book Palace. Really nice.
So did you stand guard outside Buckingham Palace?
Oh, yeah, a few times. Loads
Yeah?
of times, yeah.
What was that like?
All right, you got used to it. So we used to do Buckingham Palace, St James's Palace, Tower of London, Windsor Castle, Bank of England.
Really?
Yeah.
How incredible. Does that take incredible discipline?
Oh, yeah. You have to... they were a lot harder then than it is now. They're not... like in your training, I was 18-year-old, 17, 18-year-old when I was pair-bright training, and I cried, and everybody did.
Really?
Oh, it was terrible. They used to knock hell out of you. But now they're not allowed to do anything like that.
What sort of training, explain to me what the training entailed.
Well, just being a soldier, fitness and that. You had to do runs, full battle kits, getting you up in the middle at night and doing all sorts, just being cruel to you.
Yeah, basically just being cruel
just
to
being
you.
cruel to you. And life for a bitch.
Yeah. And did a lot of people give up?
Oh yeah, when I was doing my training at Payback, quite a few people gave up, and they couldn't take it.
And was the Coldstream Guards a privilege? I mean, was that like a sought after?
Yeah, well, there's Grenadier Guards, and coastering guards, Irish guards, Welsh guards, and all foot guards, you know, household brigade. And they still stick together and that. I go to the Coastering Association and things like that every month, every Tuesday of every month. First Tuesday of every month.
Oh. You're quite a tough guy then.
No.
You're a tough guy.
No, I wasn't. No. I've had my moments, but I won't say I was tough. I just don't know. I mean, you're just trained and you just get used to it. It's part of life.
So what's your kind of, you know, getting through the training? Why do you survive? I mean, is it because you just got an attitude of...
Yeah, just saying you're not going to beat me and that's it. That was my attitude. I don't like being beat. But I've only got one downfall, and that's spelling.
All right.
I cannot spell. I try, but I can't spell to save my life. I'll tell you a tale. I came back from, where was it, Honduras, Belize it was, and I came to Chelsea Barracks. And there were these, in Chelsea Barracks there were these Cockney lads, 3 Cockney lads in the same room as me, and they says, come on, we're going to Windsor to see this rock concert. And I says, well, there were no mobile phones then. I had to write a letter to Catherine. And I'm writing, and there's a Yorkshireman, I said, how do you spell yawn? Meaning yours.
Yeah.
And they said, what, when you're tired? I said, no, when it's yawn. And boy, it's unbelievable, chuffing spelling. I've tried, but I cannot spell. Read.
You can read?
Oh, yeah, read and everything, but I've tried all my life and can't do it. Yeah. Why? I don't know. I'm all right now with iPad. You can.
Sculpture.
Yeah.
What sort of stuff do you read?
Well, just newspapers, really. I'm not one for reading books now. I've read 1 or 2 books, but I can't get into them. It's not quick enough for me. Same as fishing. I can't get into fishing. It's too slow.
Yeah.
A few friends will go fishing. Why don't you come? Why don't you come? And I've tried it once. That was it.
Yeah, you've got to love it, haven't you?
Is it like a beeswax, that?
Yeah, a little bit. Haven't you?
Yeah.
It's paraffin.
Yeah.
Paraffin modelling wax. It's got a sculptor's modelling wax.
Yeah.
It goes harder and harder.
Yeah.
It goes on like putty.
I don't know how they all sit quiet.
They're not. They're gossiping away out there.
Listen to an idiot like me talking. And I can't see expressions on my face because I ain't got my glasses on.
So what are Chelsea Barracks like? It must be quite plush.
Well,
isn't it?
Chelsea Barracks, it's been knocked down now.
Mm.
Yeah, they knocked it down. It's a big housing estate on it. It used to be rough there sometimes. I've seen lads who've what they found some dust on it used to have a bed and a locker, and if they found dust on it when they came around inspecting, I've seen them say, right, show your bed area on parade ground, and they've had to carry the wardrobe and beds and that down, like 4 stories high, and parade it on. Oh, there must be all sorts like that. Yeah. But I won't swap it. I won't swap my life for anything.
Mm.
No. The same as I say, I'm a great granddad now, but I keep telling them I've always been a great granddad.
I bet you are.
I have a laugh with him. like it's marvellous how you can just do that.
Mm.
How long did it take you? To really... Did you start young?
I didn't really know I could do it till I started this project.
Right.
Because it takes so long usually. But this quick, short, fast, modelling was something I didn't know I could do. I mean, I was very worried when I first started this.
Yeah.
But it's something that, I mean, I've been doing it for 30 years.
Have you?
So, and modelling, basically just modelling like this, called modelling, for 30 years. But this is a special type of modelling, really. This is in wax and observation, quick under pressure and all that sort of stuff. So it's a skill that I kind of have perfected doing this project. Because usually we do a portrait, like, someone will turn up in the studio in clay and you'll be measuring up with calipers and you'll be doing this and doing that and going back and getting it all right, getting the skull sorted out, and then you start getting the muscles on top of the skull, and then you start getting points of the skull where the skin hits the skull. Goes on and on, and come back next week, and you go back next week and you start building up the surface of the skin, and you start looking at soft bits last and the hard bits second, and come slowly out of the head, and it goes on and on and on for months, weeks and months. And I'm doing this in 2 hours. It's like, I don't understand, I'm breaking all the rules.
Yeah.
And it's hit and miss. Sometimes I get a likeness, sometimes I don't. I need
Well,
something
when I can see that now, I can see it.
Yeah,
Around my eyes and nose and that, yeah.
it's coming.
Yeah,
We're probably about halfway through at the moment.
yeah.
I had to decide just then, your mouth is often quite open, just about. It's quite nice. So
Yeah,
it'd be like a slightly open mouth, which is good,
yeah.
which I haven't got in any other heads. So you're just about a tall. Yeah, once you get the main coordinates in, begin to feel, I just begin around here, just begin to feel your cheek working.
Yeah. Brilliant.
And then really, your hands start doing it themselves. They sort of have their own
Yeah.
kind of way of doing things. And you kind of just end up watching them sometimes.
Must be great to do something like that.
I think there is something very lovely about just looking and trying to make something look like something.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what it is, but it's something very, very
Oh,
satisfying.
it must be.
Yeah.
I mean, it must be, how can I put it? To be able to just walk into somewhere and just play a piano.
Yeah.
Something like that, I'd love to do something like that, but I've never been bothered to learn.
Yeah. So did your brothers go around the pit? They were all sisters, weren't they?
I had sisters, yeah, well, the only lad, yeah.
So how long did your dad last?
Oh, my dad died when he was 50 odd, middle 50, 56 or something like that.
I just teaching.
Yeah,
Oh, you're quite young.
yeah.
What did he die of?
It was put down on his death certificate as a misadventure. He was one for whiskey in the house, and he was taking barbiturates tablets, and he took them twice because he was drunk, and he put down a misadventure.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So,
Gosh.
and when my sister died, I wasn't at home when my sister died, Sandra, my youngest sister, and she'd been out with a friend, and a friend came back. We're at my dad's. A friend came back with, and they were sleeping in the same bedroom. And my friend woke up next morning, Sandra had just died.
What? Sleeping next to her?
Yeah.
How old was she?
Sandra was 21.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, she was 21 when she died.
Oh, what's she done?
To be honest with you, I don't know. I've no idea what it was. I asked if it was drug related and that. They said no, there's no drugs or anything like that. But I've no idea what she died of.
Good
Because
God.
I was away at the time,
Hell of a shock.
Yeah. But I was in Tidworth actually, and to be about 68, 69, and they got a telegram and fetched me into office saying we've had a telegram from your dad that your sister's died. And I said, no, you've got that mixed up. I said, you've got a telegram off my sister, my dad's died. And I didn't believe it till I got home, but it was
Really?
Sandra who died.
Bloody hell. So she was sharing a bed with her friend,
Yeah,
woke up in the morning and she...
yeah. She died. Just died. I mean, I always remember, they fetched her home in a coffin. And in them days, they used to do that. And they were she's laid in a coffin in front room. And my dad made me sleep on settee in front room. Or he says, you sleep there with our Sandra. So I had to sleep in the same room all night. Well, it didn't bother me, like, because you seen loads of dead bodies, but when it's your sister, yeah.
Yeah. Good God. Would he have been a miner, Mr. Bailey?
Yeah, he was a manager, actually. In charge of all lamps and safety lamps and things like that. His son, Eddie, he was high up at cementation, on mining side, electrical side. And then his other son, Alec, he emigrated to New Zealand. And they all had, they had motorbikes, right? They built their own and everything.
Gosh.
And my sister, Pauline, who was adopted, Mr. Sharp, he adopted her. And he was a manager at Bentley Pit.
So she was adopted from your family?
Yeah.
Because your dad was overstretched, as it were?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
But
And she went there.
Your dad must have felt a lot of pain.
Oh, yeah.
God. Do you know the reasons your mum left? Does your dad...
No, she's...
It was just a
No
total
idea.
surprise?
Yeah. Well, she left. As what I can make out, she left. She was away a fortnight, and then she came back, and then she left again, so... My dad said that was it. And he brought us up. And my grandma used to come round sometimes. Well,
Your mum's mum?
most day. No, that my dad's mum, Grandma Booth. And my mum's name was Hickman. As I said, there used to be notes left. Go to Mrs. Smith down the street, go to Mrs. So-and-so, and she's got your tea. And that's when my dad was on wrong shift, you know, when he was working. He had a friend who had it was like a railway carriage at Cleethorpes, Beach Home, at Cleethorpes, and we used to go there every year for a week. Into this caravan, well, not a caravan, it was like a railway carriage. That was holidays.
So I suppose you've seen all the royals then coming in and out Buckingham Palace.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, right back of Buck Palace. There's a sentry's post there. And one night I had to go around there, a corporal at the time, I went round to see sentry. And the police said, a car's coming in. And Princess Margaret, she come in, just flat out it back. I don't know if she was drunk or what. Then another time I was putting sentries on at front, and the car pulled up behind me, turned around at the Duke of Edinburgh.
Really?
Yeah, you have to present arms and everything, you know.
Oh, God.
I've got some photos on my phone there when we were at the garden party.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get your bearskin made for you?
No,
Are they old? Are they ones you...
some of them are years old. They are originally made from Canadian brown bear skin.
And what are they now?
I think they're all artificial now, what they have. But when we were in, they were all Canadian brown bear.
Really?
Yeah, you had to comb them and wrap towels around them to get shape.
Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. And when I came out, I could have had one.
Really?
A friend of mine was at stores at the time. He said, take that one with you. I said, no, I wish I had them now.
Yeah. Well, it's an amazing piece of history, isn't it, you've been a part of?
Yeah. But when you brigade the guards, everybody expects you being 6 foot odd and that. And it's,
Yeah, yeah.
It's just,
And posh.
yeah, Grenadier Guards is, there's one company what you call Queen's Company. You have to be 6'6" to be,
6'6".
to get in that, yeah. Well, you imagine them with a bearskin on and all.
Good
Yeah.
God.
You know. And everybody thinks you're not a proper soldier, but yeah, you know,
You think you're kind of decorative,
yeah. But you're not.
ceremonial.
Yeah, but it's not like they only like that when you come in back do your duties in London. The other times you're all over.
I mean, God, I mean, standing still for so long. I
Do-
mean, must be used to that. Like this must be like standing guard in century.
You should do 2 on, 4 off.
2 hours on, 4 hours
4
off.
off, yeah.
And you had all those tourists taking photographs of you.
Oh, all
trying to
time,
make
yeah.
you
Yes, but when you get lads there, young girls that come up, when you're in uniform and that, you know, make a date to see you at night, and go, if you ever turned up in your tunic and your bearskin, they didn't want to know you. Well, you couldn't go out to camp with them, like, you know, with bearskins and that.
We're done. Great.
Well, I can see. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, it does look like me. Can't you be able to frighten kids with that?
Yep, don't worry, there's a few scared people already.
Yeah.
Last year, just want to show it to this camera. It's great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
Yeah.